Winter camping is one of those things that's both peaceful and brutal at the same time. The cold hits right away, everything feels calmer, and there's this quiet that only winter brings. This trip wasn't just about camping. After breaking camp, I'd be heading out to Moulton Falls. It's a place I've been wanting to photograph for a while. The challenge of it is capturing the bridge's reflection in the water, which isn't always easy during winter conditions. So this trip had a little bit of everything: winter camping and photography. It's a mix of challenge and solitude and some creativity. I made my way out here to camp along the Cowlitz River near Packwood. It's a solid spot, quiet, tucked away, and right by the water. It's perfect for settling in for the night. The plan is pretty simple: get camp set up, stay warm, and enjoy the night out here. Then first thing in the morning, I'll be packing up. Then I'll be heading straight to Moulton Falls to finally get the shot that I've been wanting. But for now, it's just me and the river and a cold night ahead. Okay, so just deployed the awning. I was going to park a little more centered, but right here, I don't know if you can tell, slants slightly down. And so I'm not completely leveled. I think where I am parked right now is leveled, and then on this side is just as leveled. So I deployed the awning. I think I'm going to cook under this just because I'm under a bunch of trees and it's snowing. There's that. You can also hear it too. So the dish I am making is a Thai dish. It's like a coconut chicken broth essentially. So I thought it was pretty appropriate since it's snowing outside. I don't know, chicken soup is always nice when it's relatively cold. So gonna make that, and then like I said, I'm gonna camp out here for tonight, and then we'll see you in the morning. Okay, so the dish in itself is pretty simple. It's gonna be chicken thighs. If you don't know what this is, it's like ginger, but it's called galangal. These are lime leaves, some Thai chilies, and then some lime. And then the sauces you'll put in here are fish sauce just to make it a little more salty. Anyways, gonna make this. I think the most difficult thing about this dish is not to get the coconut milk to curdle. And the way to get it curdle is if you add too much heat to it or you just constantly stir it. So also you gotta kind of stare at it too so it doesn't come to a boil. But anyways, when it comes to the soup or anything, you should always taste the broth before adding anything else to it. It's just like a rule of thumb. So the chicken thighs is pretty much done. It's fork tender. I think what comes next is having enough lime into it, and then from the lime add a little more salt. So here's the first batch of lime. Like I said earlier, the most difficult part about this dish or making this dish is finding the right consistency between the saltiness and then the sourness and then the sweetness from the coconut milk. So if you ever order this at restaurants, for some odd reason I feel like they make it very, very sweet. I'm not sure why, but it's supposed to be, in my opinion, more spicier and saltier than sweet. Now the important part, which is salt. I like to add fish sauce. I don't know if that's traditional or not, but if you want anything to be salty, you should add fish sauce to it. A lot of southern, Southeast Asian dish will have fish sauce in pretty much all of their dishes. So you always want to start off with just a little bit because fish sauce is very salty. You can always add more, you can't take away. The rice is about done, so this whole dish is it's pretty easy to make. If you make it at home, you can probably make it within 30 minutes or so. It's a great dish to have, especially if you're sick, just because of the spice, the sourness, the saltiness, and it's chicken broth based. So what you should do if you want to eat this traditionally, rice on one plate and then a bowl of this. But I don't want to do dishes, so I'm gonna do everything all in one bowl. And all the lemongrass and lime leaf and galangal and stuff, they're just to flavor the broth. You don't actually eat those, by the way. You're mainly eating the protein of choice, which is going to always be chicken. You could add other stuff to it, like I want to say like mushrooms and like tomatoes and stuff. I've seen people do that, but for me, I always stick with just chicken. I don't want to overcomplicate things. Not the prettiest presentation, but when you're out camping, I don't think you really care. Like I said, if you really wanted to make this pretty and like a good looking dish, you would just dump all the lime leaves and all that stuff and probably have extra lime on a side like that, but I don't really care. The soup is going to be a lot more stronger because when you pour it over the rice, it kind of dilutes it a little bit. So you kind of want the soup to be more potent. Just a heads up if you ever do make this dish. Oh shit, Luka Doncic just got traded. Damn. Dude, I thought Luka Doncic was one of the few NBA players that's untouchable. I wonder where Jimmy Butler is gonna go. That's I think him and De'Aaron Fox is probably the only players that actually asked for a trade. Damn, Luka Doncic just got traded. That's crazy. Okay, so I just started up the diesel heater. I'm gonna let that run the ignition to kick up and start up. But before it gets really dark, I do want to take you guys down here. There's a handful of people that parked up the road and started to walk down here. And I asked the last people that came down here that if there was like something special, because it seemed like a popular spot, and I guess it is during the summer. Looks like people come down here to, well, first of all, camp like what I'm doing. They said during the summers you can actually camp right along the water, and the people that just stopped by said that you can walk down here, and there's a ton of fire campings, but and I'm assuming down there it gets a little deeper. There was a lady that walked past my camping spot. She said there's a rock right here or like around here that people just jump off from. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna head back up because it's starting to get really cold, and I do want to fly the drone around here just before it gets way too dark. So I'm gonna go and do that, and then I think I might just call it a night now. It's way too cold to just be staying outside. I think right now it's hovering around 22 to 23 degrees, and my toes are freezing. Good news is I can be easily entertained, especially now that Luka Doncic just got traded. I gotta read up some more on what that's all about. I saw a comment a little earlier that said that the Mavs must really hate him if they traded him, so, which is true, because I always thought Luka was untradeable or untouchable. Anyways, looks like the diesel heater is fully running, so going to pop open the tent and then preheat the tent. All right, so it's the next morning. Looks like it started to snow quite a bit, and the fog is rolling in this morning. So I'm gonna head out of here. Just made coffee, and then yeah, it's gonna be about maybe 3 hours away from here to Moulton Falls. Yeah, might as well get on the road. It is a very cold morning. I don't know how other people do it when they go winter camping, on how much they film during the night or just in general, like right now when it's like super cold outside. My face is totally frozen just from packing up, even waking up in general. But anyways, I'm gonna head on out of here and then see you at Moulton Falls. Alright, so just left camp. Last night got really cold. It was, I don't know how many degrees, but I know it was in the either 10s or low 20s. And my diesel heater actually ran out of diesel, so it was a good time to head out. It's still pretty early in the morning, which is great because Moulton Falls is like not very close to where I was camped at. That was a really cool spot. It was super peaceful, pretty secluded. I think in the summer it's actually a really popular spot, but during the winter, having that all to yourself is really nice. And it's been a while since I've actually just gone out and camped like that, so it's a good reminder and much needed. Moulton Falls has been on my list to go back to for a while now. I've been there, I think 2 or 3 years ago. Haven't been back since. So the goal is to get the bridge and the reflection below on the water. I'm hoping that there's not going to be a lot of people now that it's winter, and I'm also hoping with the winter months or the winter season that the water is going to be really still, so the reflection and the bridge reflects off really well. But either way, it's going to be a solid way to wrap up this trip. Moulton Falls is one of those spots that just feels timeless. Tucked away in southwest Washington, this area is a mix of dense forest, flowing water, and volcanic rock formations shaped over thousands of years. The centerpiece of the park is this wooden arch bridge. It stands over 3 stories high and stretches across the east fork of the Lewis River. It's a popular spot, and for a good reason. When the water is still, the bridge creates this perfect reflection, almost like a mirror. That's the shot that I was after today and many other photographers. This entire region is rich in history. Before it was a park, this land was an important meeting ground for the Native American tribes. And even today, the Cowlitz Prairie Railroad still runs through here, adding a touch of history to the landscape. Moulton Falls is more than just a place to take photos, it's also a place to feel like an escape. The sound of the river, the crisp air, and the stillness of the forest, it all comes together to make this place special. Moulton Falls gave me exactly what I was looking for, a mix of nature, history, and a perfect composition. I also wanted to capture the overall mood of this place, the way the soft light filters through the trees and the mist in the air, the stillness that makes the place feel untouched. Looking back at these shots, I'm glad I made this trip. Winter camping, freezing temperatures, and wrapping it all up with some photography. It was exactly what I needed. Trips like this really do remind me why I love getting out here. It's really about the experience and process and the place you get to see along the way. That's it for this one. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more trips like this. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.